Today I'm going to show you an easy piano improvisation that targets 3 vital skills that piano beginners often really struggle with. It's a lovely little piece and you're going to be able to play it even if you're brand new to the piano, because I'm going to walk you through it in a super easy step-by-step way. Okay, let's get going. So here's middle C, and in the left hand we're using a looping pattern of 4 chords. The first one is E flat, played in that position. The notes E flat, G, B flat and E flat again at the top of the octave. The second one is F minor 7, F, A flat, C, E flat. Then the third one is E flat over G. Okay, so that's basically the same as the first chord, but we've moved it up an inversion. So now we've got G at the bottom, then B flat, E flat and another G up the octave. Then the final chord of the 4 is A flat, C, E flat, A flat. Now if you're saying to yourself, Bill, why are you making us play so many black notes? Why are we in the key of E flat major? Well, there is a reason, and it's a very good one. Stick around because I'm going to explain it a little bit later. We're going to be playing them as broken chords. So to start with, just practice them really simply, playing the individual notes top to bottom like this. Now when I was playing those broken chords just then, you might have noticed that I was using quite a light, bouncy touch on the piano keyboard. Now this might seem like a trivial detail, but on the piano, touch is everything. And it's the quality of the touch that really gives this improvisation its kind of lightness and grace. So it's worth practicing that touch, worth practicing that lightness, because it will really make a difference to the quality of your playing once you get the improvisation up to speed. In the right hand, all we need to start with are the notes of an E flat major chord. So any E flat, G or B flat, anywhere on the piano keyboard. Although typically we're going to be using those 6. Now any of those notes will sound fine over any of the chords that we're playing in the left hand. If you want to know about the music theory of that, by the way, ask me down in the comments. So by now you're probably on your second moment, which is, Bill, how do I make my left hand and my right hand do all this stuff at the same time? Well, there are 2 things you can do that should make your life a lot easier. The first thing you can do is to start improvising on just one of the right hand notes that you have available. So we're going to use this E flat, and what we're going to do is improvise on it rhythmically over our left hand pattern, like this. By the way, you might have noticed that I'm using a little bit of sustain pedal. That's the piano's right hand pedal. Now give that a go for yourself, but don't worry too much if it sounds a bit mushy. At the end of the tutorial, I'm going to include a little section on how to pedal this improvisation effectively. The second thing is to, in effect, alternate your hands. So play your left hand chord notes, then do a little bit in the right on the E flat. So that way you're playing with 2 hands, but you're not really having to think about both hands at the same time. Practice that over and over and over until your neighbours are banging on the wall, which is always a sign of a good practice session in my experience. And then once you're comfortable with it, increase the level of challenge just a little bit. This is the way to get better at playing the piano, yeah? In fact, it's the way to get better at doing anything. Always keep yourself in a sweet spot of challenge. Consistently work on things that are difficult, but not so difficult that you can't do them. So with that in mind, let's increase the challenge a little bit. We've already got this E flat in the right hand. Let's try adding this B flat to the mix. Always trying to keep it light and bouncy and musical. Yeah, practice and practice and practice until you're confident with these 2 notes. Yeah, so after that B flat, you might add that G, and then you might add other E flats, B flats and Gs from maybe from down in this octave or higher in the piano keyboard. Okay, let's have a think about why this improvisation exercise is so useful. Earlier on, I said it was going to help you with 3 vital skills that piano beginners often struggle with, and that it's also somehow mysteriously connected to the reason that we're doing the whole thing in the key of E flat major, with all those flipping annoying black notes. The first of those skills is articulation. So a major problem I see in piano beginners is what I call sticky finger syndrome. It's where you've got a note down and you're like, oh, my brain's working so hard, where's the next note? It's, it's here, and now that one feels like it's glued down. Oh, where's the next one? It's here. Oh, this is so difficult. And it's where your fingers feel like they're stuck to the piano keyboard. Yeah, you probably find that familiar. But you have to be able to push past sticky finger syndrome. That's because to sound cool on the piano, to sound like a professional, you need to be able to articulate. So sometimes you have to play smoothly, legato, and sometimes, as is the case today, you need to be light and bouncy, or even staccato. And the good thing about this exercise is because we're keeping it simple and playing light and bouncy from the off, because it's kind of baked in, it should help you to fight sticky finger syndrome, especially on the black notes, because sticky fingers always tend to be worse on black notes. And that is why I'm making you work in E flat major with lots of black notes to test yourself on. Okay, so I'm halfway through shooting the tutorial and I'm just trying to fight my way back into my office, which as usual when I'm shooting is full of video junk. I just wanted to say, if you are enjoying the tutorial so far, I think you'll really like my books and my piano packs. I'm not going to waste time talking about them here, but if you want to find out more once the tutorial is finished, just check out the links in the description text and the pinned comments right underneath this video. You'll also find down there a link to my Patreon crowdfunding page, and I'm also going to put a load of links to digital pianos that I recommend, because people are always asking me about digital pianos, so I thought I'd recommend some. Okay, so there we go. Enjoy the rest of the tutorial and check out those links afterwards. The second skill is what we might call up and down movement. Now, when you first start learning the piano, it's really easy to get into the habit of just playing right on the edge of those white notes. It's a really common beginner problem, actually. So doing this kind of work in a key that has quite a lot of black notes should get you used to moving your hands in this axis rather than just this axis, which seems trivial, but if you start doing it sooner rather than later, it's going to make a big difference to your playing and your progress. So just thinking about the right hand in this particular improvisation exercise, get up into the keys here. Don't worry if your fingers are hitting the black notes more than halfway along their length, yeah, because they'll be more secure there than if you're just teetering around on the edge. We'll come to our third vital skill in a moment. Before we do though, let's think about how we can take our basic piano improvisation and make it richer and more interesting, kind of like this. Can you see what I'm doing in the left there? Typically, I was just kind of adding a little tail to the broken chord, a few notes from the upper end of the chord after I played the main 4 notes. Yeah, and rhythmically, I was kind of playing them off against the right hand. So now you can gradually add little bits of challenge in both hands, and that will really help you to work on the third of our vital skills, which is hand independence. Hand independence is the ability to get your 2 hands doing different things on the piano keyboard at the same time, and this technique of gradually pushing against your boundaries is ideal for it. Another really powerful technique is to let your hands do the thinking. Once you've got a kind of basic competence at playing the piece, even in quite a simple way, kind of let your mind and your hands wander. Is there a particular pattern that seems to drop under your fingers? Is there another note you could drop in? It might be something as simple as, you're working through the improvisation and suddenly in the right hand, instead of hitting this B flat that you mean to hit, you accidentally catch the A flat and you think, oh, hold on, that sounds pretty cool. How about I try to work it into the improvisation, like this? Couple of final things. First of all, the sustain pedal. Yeah, so I'm using pedal to stick things together and also give us a bit of ambience. Yeah, those are the sustain pedal's two main jobs, but I'm not on it all the time. I'm definitely always repedaling with each chord change, quickly bringing my foot up and then down again as the chord switches over. Okay, so like this. Pedal, 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 and I'm kind of timing it so that there is a smooth switch over. It's not an easy skill to get right first off, but neither is it super difficult. You might just need to play around a little bit. Also, finally, always try to make it musical. So think about the shape of the phrases you're creating in the right, okay? Sometimes give the right hand part room to breathe, so leave little gaps. One of the problems that beginner improvisers tend to have is that they think they need to be doing something all the time, and really you don't, yeah? Give the music room to breathe. If you want more piano improvisation exercises, I've got loads on my YouTube channel, including this one, which I think you'll really like. I'll see you over there.